Hello, this is International Roundups. I'm Dennis Asseto, and this is brought to you by KTN in partnership with Valerie. We start in the continent, the motherland Africa. We are in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where women of the Congo have come out guns blazing, calling out the violence that has seen them lose their daily lives and economic empowerment. They say they would not be cowed or silenced in the wake of the violence that they continue to see in the country.
Le plus grand message au courant de cette journée,
the most important message today is that we are drawing the attention of international public opinion to what is happening in our region. No one is unaware of the atrocities that women in Benin are suffering. This activity is therefore a cry of alarm, so that the international community can pay greater attention to the crimes being committed here in our area, where women are largely the victims. The situation of women in general is catastrophic. There are women today who are displaced and living in very difficult conditions. Some have been raped by rebels, others have been mutilated, and some have been killed. Overall, the situation of women is catastrophic, particularly in our region of Benin. It is becoming increasingly alarming with all these atrocities being committed against women, notably by armed groups such as the ADF and the M23. It is true that for 5 years we did not have a march because of the atrocities taking place in our city. But today, that woman is resilient. She does not want to remain bowed down or live in misery. She wants to show the world that despite all the atrocities she has endured, she remains strong and continues to move forward. The role of women in restoring peace here in the city of Benin is that we, the women, are often the ones who notice the presence of bandits or armed groups first. Therefore, women must know how to speak out and report such activities so as not to bring further harm to the population.
From the Congo, we go to Ghana, where Ghanaian authorities have called out the war that is ongoing between the United States of America, Iran, and Israel. This following the attack on Ghanaian troops that are based in Lebanon. Take a look.
The government of Ghana strongly condemns this attack. It was a completely needless attack, especially when it was unprovoked. Ghanaian troops have been part of UN peacekeeping operations for decades. They have an outstanding record of professionalism. They have excelled wherever they've been. They've won many, many awards, and they are globally acknowledged for the wealth of experience and dynamism that they bring to bear on peacekeeping operations. They've been in Lebanon for quite some time. And at that point where this attack occurred, they were not involved in any hostile activity. In fact, their primary reason for being there was to maintain peace. So certainly they are not a kinetic or offensive unit that was fomenting any sort of trouble or posing any form of threats to any country or any party in any conflict anywhere. And therefore, it was totally unjustified to launch such an attack on them. And we condemn it in the strongest possible terms. We have expressed our displeasure about this publicly. And indeed, last week, the government of Ghana, through our foreign ministry, sent a formal protest and complaint to the United Nations. And we expect that the matter will be looked into, thorough investigations will be carried out, and those responsible held to account. I don't think that international law has room for this level of impunity. You simply cannot wage an unprovoked attack on persons who are not in any way endangering you. And it is not something that needs to be tolerated. It's not something the Ghana government will accept. And we will pursue it to its logical conclusions. The latest briefing we have from the Defense Ministry is that they are responding to treatment, and they are expected to make a normal recovery. And we deeply regret the incident, and people who have put themselves about to ensure that there is peace between two warring factions should not face this unfortunate onslaught and attack, which has left them in this state. But we trust that they will make a quick recovery. Those decision has been made. I think the priority is to ensure that those who were affected by this unprovoked missile attack receive the best care and support. Those who were injured recover quickly and receive the necessary care and support. And that those who remain are secure, they are safe, and that they are not exposed to any danger. We do not believe that this incident should in any way get in the way of the noble principles behind peacekeeping. In fact, conflicts of the sort that has led to this sort of attack is the reason why peacekeeping exists. So that is our contribution to ensuring global peace. It is also to look into the matter and ascertain what happened so that we can learn from it and ensure that such things do not recur. But at this stage, discussions about pulling out or discontinue our participation in international peacekeeping is simply not on the cards.
And still in Lebanon, to be specific, in Beirut, the attack by Israeli army in a residential building in Beirut left cars sprawled all over the place as residents in the country continue to experience attacks and barrage of weapons that continue to land in their country.
كبس علينا البتراء.
And still in the same war, but this time in the United Arab Emirates, the president of UAE has said that it is important for the country to meet to re-evaluate its military readiness in the wake of the attacks that continue to be witnessed in the region, especially with attacks and retaliatory attacks that is coming from Iran against US bases in other UAE countries. And still in the UAE, and the president of UAE has sent a warning to Iranian attacks, saying that they should not be undermined because they are ready and should not be taken as easy prey. Take a look.
الحمد لله رب العالمين. أنا في المستشفى هنا جاي أزور 5 ملك عورة.
Praise be to God, Lord of the worlds. I am in the hospital. I visited 5 of the injured civilians, 2 Emiratis, an Indian, a Sudanese and an Iranian. They are a responsibility we bear, and God willing, they will be safe and will recover soon. God willing. Another thing I would like to say is that the UAE is doing well, and it has loyal citizens who are a source of pride. I want to thank the military establishment for its distinguished role during the war, and I thank other security institutions, the Ministry of Interior, the security services, the civil defense, and please excuse anyone whose name I have forgotten. but they all played an honorable role for the UAE. Another thing I would like to mention is that the Emiratis who live in this country have fulfilled their duty in a joyful and honorable manner, and this is what we expect of them. May God protect them. As for the residents, they are our guest and our family. Their stances are honorable. They should excuse us if there has been any shortcoming on our part, but we are in time of war. I promise them that we will fulfill our duty, because this is an obligation upon us to protect our people and our country. The other message to the enemy of the Emirates: the UAE is attractive, the UAE is beautiful, the UAE is a model, but I say to them, do not be misled by UAE's appearance. The UAE has thick skin and bitter flesh. We are no easy prey, and we will do our duty towards our country, our people, and the residents who are our people. May God protect the Emirates, its people, and all who are in it with glory and security. And I promise everyone that we will come out stronger. May God protect you.
أوعدهم أن بنأدي الواجب لأن هذا فرض علينا نحن نأديه لحماية أهلنا وحماية بلدنا. الشيء الآخر أريد أقول رسالة يمكن لعدو الإمارات. الإمارات مواريه، الإمارات جميلة، الإمارات قدوة، لكن أقول لهم لا تغشكم الإمارات. ترى الإمارات يلدها غليظ ولحمتها مرة، نحن ما ننكل وبنقوم بواجبنا تجاه بلادنا وأهلنا ومقيمين في عندنا أهلنا الثانيين. الله يحفظ الإمارات ويحفظ أهلها ويحفظ اللي فيها بالعز والأمان، وأوعد الجميع ترانا بنظر أقوى.
لا شك.
ربي يحفظكم.
And still in the United Arab Emirates, the president visited victims who were attacked during the attacks in part of Abu Dhabi, saying that the country will stand with them even in the face of the attacks. And from the attacks, we go to deaths, because that is as a result of war. Many have died, and with that, the military defense systems have called for prayers for the pilots who died in the attacks that continue to be witnessed in the Middle East. Here is that sad story. Now, still on the war in the Middle East, and Iran's IRGC corps have resumed bombarding of Israeli and US targets using their ballistic missiles. This, as they say, that retaliation will continue as they avenge their enemies. And Israel, on the other hand, has resumed bombardment of Lebanon as it continues with the attack of those it considers to be its enemies in the fight between the United States of America, Israel, and Iran. Here is that story.
غير يمكن أو سياح.
Still on the Middle East war, and the United States has been seen moving its armored vehicles towards Syria as it continues with the war between United States of America, Israel, and Iran, saying this is strategic and important in winning that war. Still in the same war, and the United States of America Central Command Unit has said and actually released footage showing its attack on vessels that belong to Iran, saying that it is all important in this war because they are attacking naval forces of Iranian army. As the war in the United States, Iran, and Israel continues, it is trouble in paradise. This after a statue of President Donald Trump and Epstein showed up outside Capitol Hill as DOJ stands accused of deleting some information and files from the Epstein files. One would ask the question, why is that the case? But take a look. And finally, in Lahore, citizens are up in arms, that is in Pakistan, up in arms against the government after making the decision to close schools in order to safeguard the country from fuel prices that continue to go up. One would ask the question, which is important, the war or kids going to school? The latter would be important. Take a look.
स्कूल बंद करने की जरूरत नहीं थी अगर आपने पेट्रोलियम का इशू बना के कि बच्चों को पेट्रोल
There was no need to shut down schools if the reason was the rising prices of petroleum products. There is no logic in that. What's more important, children's education or saving fuel? These decisions will affect the studies of children. The government says that online learning should be used, but it must realize that nearly 70% of students neither have access to reliable internet nor the gadgets required for online classes.
बच्चों के पास इंटरनेट की फैसिलिटी नहीं है, उन वालिदैन के पास कोई गैजेट नहीं है, उन वालिदैन के पास कोई और ज़राए नहीं है जिसके ज़रिए वो बच्चों को ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन पे शिफ्ट कर सकें.
They should close down their luxuries, stop using huge cars. Why have they closed down schools? The schools have taken fees, even advance fees, and then they close them. A student cannot be taught online, and that's a fact. There is a serious blunder by the government and should not have happened. There were several alternative measures that could have been implemented. Shutting down schools should not have been one of them.
And this is International Roundup, KTN, in partnership with Vaori. I'm Dennis Aseto.